Morning, my name is Josh from CyclonesOZ, and today a detailed forecast update coming your way. We've got a lot to be talking about today. We're going to start things off over in the southeast of the nation with an intense cold snap and some snow down to 600 metres expected across some of the states there. We'll move up to far north Queensland and talk about a little bit of rainfall that's expected over there before moving across to Western Australia, where a big time cold front is expected to blow through from tonight, and more are going to be in its wake. All of that plus more coming up in today's weather forecast, and if you are brand new to the channel, please consider subscribing. Your support is greatly appreciated. So we're going to start things off over in the southeast, like I did say, and you can see the low pressure system offshore from New South Wales now into the Tasman Sea here is driving this big front that's been blowing through Queensland, the northern parts of New South Wales, and now into the Tasman Sea and across to New Zealand. And that front there has been delivering some light showers here and there to central parts of Queensland, but again, nothing to be worrying about. What is to be concerned about is the low pressure system rotating up the southerly winds that are blowing through Tasmania and into Melbourne and even into parts of New South Wales at this time. And you can see on the blues of the temperature icons right now, temperatures are very cold across a lot of Victoria and Tasmania, and I do know that it is only morning over there still, but still a lot of temperatures not above 10 degrees Celsius yet, and it is approaching midday, especially at the time of this upload, and you can see those showers bringing in some damaging winds as well here and there, with some wind gusts up towards gale force, and in fact some winds sustained above gale force right now. Wilson's promontory up to 61 kilometres an hour, getting very close to gale force winds, and across Tasmania as well some strong winds are being reported. So overall some pretty gnarly weather is being reported over in this part of Victoria and New South Wales and Tasmania. Now, over the course of today, the weather does become a little bit more pleasant in terms of a lack of rainfall this evening. The showers and snow do ease off and out of Tasmania by around 7 or 8 p.m. tonight. They will continue into Victoria and New South Wales as far north as areas outside of Katoomba and Orange until about midnight tonight, when they will continue to ease out there, and that's going to be replaced by the very cold temperatures. For Victoria, the snow showers do continue on the highest of elevations right through Monday morning and into early Monday afternoon, and a few showers are still expected across the New South Wales and Victorian coastline. They'll be very hit and miss and isolated when they do fall, but a few showers are still possible throughout the course of Monday and Tuesday. However, it's going to be inland communities and the entire state of Victoria and Tasmania, to be frank, that we're concerned about in terms of temperatures. We do have a big frost day on the cards now, so if I flick this over to temperatures, this is definitely the most interesting aspect of the forecast in the next 5 days. You can see temperatures are expected to plummet throughout the course of tonight. Now, this is midnight tonight. You can already see temperatures approaching -6, -7 degrees across the New South Wales Highlands, and about -4 in the Victorian Highlands. Down in Tasmania, temperatures about the same as well, -3 to -4, but a huge swathe of below zero extending out towards Launceston and pretty close to the Hobart metro area. Melbourne, a slightly more pleasant 8 degrees Celsius overnight on Monday. Still very cold indeed, but slightly milder because of the flow of the southerly winds. However, it's going to be Tasmania that's going to be bitterly cold, the Highlands through Victoria and into New South Wales as well, and even as far north as Glen Innes and some of the tops in Queensland just to the south of Brisbane, you can see temperatures below zero up there. A huge swathe of below zero or just above 0 degree temperatures for New South Wales and Victoria on Monday morning, and even extending in towards South Australia as well. This is just calling for massive frost day. This is exclaiming huge frost day on Monday and Tuesday, and I do expect mild to severe frost to extend across large swathes of New South Wales, Victoria and South Australia. And in fact, I don't expect there to be a minimum above 10 degrees Celsius for Victoria, New South Wales or Tasmania on Monday morning. So that would be a very interesting thing to see if there is minimum temperatures above 10 degrees, but the majority of the coastline here also very close to 10 degrees, but on the lower side of it. So I reckon it's going to be a very cold start for the entirety of these states on Monday, and then into Tuesday as well. Temperatures refusing to get much warmer. In fact, they're a lot colder over the Highlands, approaching -10 degrees Celsius in Victoria and New South Wales, and a huge swathe of -3 to -4, even parts of -5 that aren't in fully mountainous areas in the backside of these mountains here, powered by this high pressure system, which is just outside of Bairnsdale in the Gippsland region of Victoria. Slightly milder temperatures in Tasmania on Tuesday morning, but still absolutely brutally cold for a lot of the states east, and it's going to be pretty cold across New South Wales and Victoria as well. Now, I know these temperatures don't seem extreme in terms of record breaking. I mean, all of these places do receive a couple of days of below zero each year. It's just because we're starting to get to the end of the cropping season, so this part of New South Wales and Victoria, some of the wheat, some of the canola and so forth is already reaching its mature stages, and any amount of frost, and especially severe frost, which is expected close to the Great Dividing Range on Monday and Tuesday mornings, is a big concern to farmers, and that's why I'm talking about it in such great detail. Wednesday, the temperatures are a little bit warmer still for northern parts of New South Wales, but bitterly cold across the southern parts of New South Wales as well, and into the mountainous regions. Another day very close to minus 10 degrees Celsius, warming up though for the states north, which is great to see for them. Tasmania as well, not the runaway coldest place, but I do still expect a couple of locations in Tasmania to be brutally cold on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Thursday, just getting a little bit warmer still, a couple of places below 0 degrees on Thursday morning to start off August, but still, for the most part, just warming up a little bit. It gets a degree warmer every single night by the looks of it. Monday morning, a little bit warmer still, especially for the western part of New South Wales and Victoria. Temperatures will be slightly more mild as a cold front does approach from the west, and you can see temperatures as well across the central parts of New South Wales, just a couple of degrees warmer still. And then Saturday night as well, it's going to be much warmer for everywhere, apart from the mountainous areas, still close to 0 for some of the mountainous regions around Orange and Armidale and Glen Innes, Tamworth, that sort of area. But in the agricultural communities, it goes back to about average with minima around that 5 to 6 degree mark. And I'd also like to talk about daytime maximum temperatures as well. They're very cold across a lot of the mountains, which means those soil temperature values, the temperature of the soil itself is going to be very cold, and that's also going to be potentially causing some damage to crops that are of a higher elevation, especially for locations around Albury, in the higher elevations around there, Wagga Wagga as well. That's certainly kind of the place of concern at this time, but we've spent more than enough time talking about potential frosts and cold temperatures. If I have left anything unanswered, please do let me know in the comment section down below. Feel free to ask me a question as well. I'd be more than happy to answer to it. We will come back to New South Wales tomorrow to talk about some cold fronts for New South Wales, Victoria and Tasmania, but today there's still just too much uncertainty for the rain that's expected next weekend. We're going to move up into far north Queensland now. A big change in terms of temperatures, that's for sure. Low 30s up there, which is fantastic to see for them. Very happy for them up there, but we do have a little bit of rainfall on the forecast over the next 10 days, and you can see it here on the 10-day rainfall accumulation in areas such as the Daintree rainforest, expecting up to 100 millimeters of rainfall, and it is certainly something to be talking about, especially because a huge portion of my viewer base, courtesy to Cyclones Kirrily and Jasper, are from far north Queensland, so I will give you guys a little bit of a forecast for here, and also central Queensland as well. Can't be forgetting about them for locations down towards Brockhampton. A couple of good spots of rainfall as well, in fact up to 20 millimeters over the next 10 days. Fraser Island as well, struggling for rainfall, but they might receive a couple of drops as well. Now the bulk of this rainfall is going to be coming in the 3 to 5 day forecast period for some of these locations, but we're also expecting a bit of a swathe to come through later on in the first week of August, probably around Sunday, Monday or Tuesday. We could be seeing a little bit of rainfall, but in terms of rainfall over the next couple of days, expecting a few showers to continue around far north Queensland throughout the course of today. There have been places picking up 40 millimeters consistently for the last couple of days, so those accumulations have added up there, and that's why we talk about rainfall in the tropics, because they can get out of hand pretty quickly. It's going to be a couple of days of dry weather Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday's starting to get a little bit wetter up there, and you can see Thursday to start off August, a few millimeters expected around far north Queensland and across the central Queensland coast, to be honest, around Hamilton Island, the Whitsundays, that sort of area, expecting a few drops of rainfall on Thursday and Friday. Mackay could be seeing up towards 5 millimeters of just those strong winds and light to moderate shower activity, just the general unpleasant weather that's not associated with the tropics that they will be seeing. So again, boating conditions might also be a little bit hairy on Thursday and Friday. Might not want to go out boating because the winds will be up and a few showers will be around, but then again, a few millimeters of rainfall in this part of Queensland will be very welcome indeed. The showers are far north Queensland continuing through Friday and Saturday, and you can see just how accumulations can get out of hand very quickly up here. A week's worth of showers, when you're looking at 20 to 30 millimeters a day, which often falls in these weeks of showers around the wettest locations, not just in far north Queensland, but in Australia as a whole. You can see how rainfall can amount to 200 millimeters in a week and then cause some minor flooding in some locations, especially in flood-prone locations. So this is why we talk about far north Queensland. A few heavy showers are also possible to start off the first week of August, Monday and Tuesday, but this is a tropical forecast, so I'd take that with a very heavy pinch of salt. I mean, we're not even talking about winter weather forecasts this far out, so tropical forecast is much more volatile indeed. The peak rainfall accumulation is moving from south to north around the Brisbane and Gold Coast sort of area. There's very little rainfall expected over the next 10 days, and none of it's expected to fall over the next 5 days. A few drops of rainfall expected on the Sunshine Coast, maybe 10 millimeters or so. Again, the majority of it will fall in the 5 to 10 day forecast period. Rockhampton about expecting another 10 millimeters or so, which is good rainfall there, and I believe the majority of that's going to be coming through throughout the course of today as well. In fact, a lot of this rainfall south of Mackay is going to be coming through throughout the course of today, if it hasn't fallen already. Mackay expecting a few drops, as we talked about, mid this week and into the later parts of this week. Same with the Whitsundays, but the bulk of the rainfall, of course, north of Townsville A pretty decent swathe of 50 millimetres plus across the northern parts of the Cassowary coast. Cairns not really expecting much rainfall, maybe 10 millimetres or so, and then up into the Daintree, much higher, 80 millimetres expected there. So some good rainfall expected across the coastal parts of Queensland. If I've left anything unanswered on this forecast as well, please do ask me in the comment section down below. I'd love to get back to you as well, and give me a weather report for your location up in far north Queensland, especially if you have been receiving some of this hokey pokey rainfall coming through. I would love to hear your thoughts and feelings on it. There. But we're going to shift the focus now and talk about winter weather once again for Western Australia. You can see over the 10-day forecast rainfall map here, a lot of rainfall is expected for locations along the southwest, south of Perth, and we're going to break this down for you right now. On the satellite imagery, we already have this strong cold front starting to form offshore, and I've looked outside. The weather is quite unpleasant. In fact, there's a lot of grey cloud activity offshore right now, extending as far north as Yanchep and probably further north than that as well. And you can see on the radar imagery as well, some decent showers already starting to blow through the Perth area. We've had a couple of millimetres overnight, and a lot more millimetres is expected. So we'll be keeping a very close eye on things as well. A few showers and storms are expected throughout the course of today. When are they expected? Well, let's break that down for you right now. You can see it here on the forecast, not this far in the forecast. It is happening today. A few showers are expected to materialise, especially through the southern suburbs throughout the early hours of this morning and into this afternoon for the Perth metro area. The storms extending across the southwest capes from about now, in fact, from when this video goes live. We're also expecting a couple of showers towards Bunbury and Mandurah before lunchtime, but they'll turn to thunderstorms at around lunchtime, and some of these storms could be strong at times. The showers and storms reaching the Perth metro area at around 2 or 3 p.m, and it's going to be a consistent swathe of showers and storms by the looks of it through tonight into early tomorrow morning. The worst of it looks like it comes through at around 6 or 7 p.m, probably a little bit later for the northern suburbs, maybe 8 p.m. rather for there. And I've been talking about this cold front as a possibility for firing up some severe thunderstorms. Well, just taking a look at the satellite imagery once again on the infrared side of things, which is what we use to detect strong thunderstorms. Just take a look at how cold these cloud tops are. Minus 60 degrees Celsius or thereabouts. Now this means nothing. This is goggle lock to the average viewer, but what this means is that these thunderstorms are quite strong. Minus 60 degrees Celsius on a scale is about 75% of the way to some of the strongest thunderstorms that you can see in Australia, and that means that there is some pretty good convective activity in this cold front here, which means some thunderstorms are blowing up, and they are quite strong indeed. Now, once this system gets itself into the Lewin current, I do feel like it's going to be blowing up a heavy line of showers that will move through to the Perth metro area and for locations as far south as Bunbury even, and these showers here could drop a couple of millimetres in a few minutes, so we'll keep a very close eye on things for flash flooding. I'd advise watching the radar very closely today and planning your trips out around it, because there could be some heavy showers and damaging winds associated with it, making driving conditions hairy, so make sure you are staying safe on the roads around the Perth metro area and throughout the whole of the southwest today. In terms of severe thunderstorms, I think the chance of those are very minimal, but I wouldn't be surprised if a few fired up, especially between Mandurah and sort of Fremantle, that sort of area. A few severe thunderstorms there are possible, and also the odd waterspout is possible as well. We will keep a very close eye on things as well for that, but if you do have any photos as well, please do send them through to me. I'd love to see them. Taking a look at the forecast throughout the later parts of tonight into early tomorrow morning, the rain does extend further north up towards Geraldton and Northampton, that sort of area, giving the northern wheat belt a bit of a drink, but the rainfall does a pretty good job clearing out of the Perth metro area by early tomorrow morning, and it looks like it's going to clear up to be a fine morning. A few clouds around it, and there's some strong winds from the northwest as well throughout your Monday for the Perth area, and a few showers starting up on Monday evening, tomorrow evening, and continuing through Tuesday, where a little bit of rainfall is expected. In fact, up to 25 millimetres of this stuff is expected for the Perth metro area. I reckon the bulk of it will fall in the western and the southern suburbs, but still a few good drops are possible in the eastern suburbs and the northern suburbs as well, here and there, especially in the afternoon hours. We could be seeing a few showers and storms up there. The rainfall extending across the southwest properly by around 9 or 10 a.m, and it will be quite heavy at times for the parts of the southwest, and I wouldn't be surprised if we did see 1 or 2 locations pick up 70 mil or something on Tuesday. Some pretty extreme accumulations are possible. Wednesday, a temporary return to the fine weather in the morning before those northwesterlies kick in and we get a massive cold front sweep up, and this one here looks really nasty indeed, and there's certainly something we're going to have to cover in detail tomorrow in tomorrow's forecast update. But the heads up is that we've got a strong cold front with some very heavy rainfall and some strong storms expected to head for the Perth metro area sometime on Wednesday night, and welcoming us into August with some heavy showers behind it and some very strong winds as well. Those showers continuing through Thursday into about Thursday afternoon and evening, when they will clear out. But this massive cold front here bringing potentially up to 30 millimetres of rainfall in its initial wake between midday and about 8 or 9 p.m for the Perth Perth metro areas when we're expecting it to begin crossing the coast, and the rainfall but continuing right through Wednesday night into very early Thursday morning as it penetrates deep into the wheat belt and even into the goldfields in the Murchison region. In fact, potentially up to 20 millimetres is possible as far north as Perenjori or Mount Magnet, that sort of area. The rainfall will die off as you get as far north as Meekatharra and out towards Wiluna or Lanista in the goldfields of Western Australia, but still some good rainfall expected in the south interior as well. We're going to have to keep a very close eye on this forecast here. You can see behind it as well a big high pressure system is expected to develop, and this is going to be bringing us a very cold start to August. In fact, temperatures expected to plummet below zero for some locations, especially inland. Those showers will continue through the week though for the Perth coastal region. Showers expected on Friday and into Saturday, and then easing off for the weekend as the rain pipes up here. You can see some good high pressure system activity across the southern parts of Western Australia, and this will be bringing some cold mornings for the first part of August. They shouldn't be too cold. Locations in the goldfields are expecting the worst of the cold, but still we could be seeing some temperatures go close to zero and maybe threaten the coldest day of the year sometime in the middle parts of next week. It hasn't been particularly cold this winter, just really, really wet. Now, in terms of rainfall accumulation, we'll touch on this quickly before ending off this video. Rainfall accumulations over the next 24 hours, which include just today, are expected to be as high as 25 to 30 millimetres across the southwest, and then around the south coastal region up towards 50 millimetres is possible. Perth expecting a pretty hit and miss 20 millimetres or so. I think the Bureau of Meteorology has up to 25 millimetres on the forecast, but they've also got between, I think it was 4 and 25 millimetres. I reckon the peak rainfall around the Perth metro area and the suburbs will be around 30 millimetres, but I do reckon it could be pretty volatile. The northern suburbs will only pick up 10 or so, and the southern suburbs will once again pick up the bulk of the rainfall, at least tonight, but tomorrow morning things could change again. 10-day rainfall accumulations though, which include Wednesday's front and the shower activity, expected to be as high as 110 millimetres for parts of the Perth coastal plain, that sort of area. Perth itself expecting 60 millimetres, which is what it's been saying for the last couple of days, so I'm very happy with this forecast here. And about 130 millimetres along the south coast as well, so some good rainfall there. And very far into the wheat belt as well, you're seeing rainfall accumulations up to 20 millimetres and a great swathe of rainfall around Mount Barker and Katanning, which is exactly what they need at this time. The rainfall making it as far out as the goldfields. It's just locations around Hopetown and Bremer Bay that don't receive the bulk of the rainfall, which is unfortunate because they do certainly need some rainfall there. Now that wraps up this video. If I have left anything unanswered or if you've got any questions or comments, please do leave them in the comment section down below. I'd look forward to respond to all of them throughout the course of today. Thank you so much for watching this point, and thank you to the channel sponsors. Their names are on screen right now, and I could not run this show without them, so their support is greatly appreciated. It is priceless. And that is all that I have time for today, and I'll catch you all in the next storm. Goodbye.